Hello and welcome. This is Linda and you're at Icky Chic Designs. Today I'm going to be showing how I do my little pendants that I put inside of my greeting cards. If you didn't catch that, you might look at that greeting card video that I made just a couple days ago. And you would notice that when you open it up, it has a little pendant in there, a little extra something inside that greeting card along with the sentiments or quote. And so a couple of people asked me, well, how do you do that? Well, it's very simple. Just, I had this little piece of stuff left over and it was just pendant size. It would go in a 4x4 really well. And that's about what those I'm making those greeting cards out of. So I thought, well, I could start with that. It's pretty already, but I pulled out some stuff here that I thought we could play with a little bit as an embellishment, and maybe just fancy it up just a little bit. And a little of this. Let's see if we could just kind of weave that over and under. Let's do that. Let's weave it through here. And this is a little, some little yarn that's tied into little rope-like fabric rope. Tied on both ends, or it was tied on one end actually. Right now because I cut it off of a longer one. Okay, that end is tied off, and there we go. We could even take this and angle it. Let's do it this way. Let a little bit of that color come out. Same time, we'll just pin it on a little bit to secure it. Okay. All right, all I'm doing is using a little bit of textile to give it a little bit more interest on texture and everything. Now, you can cut a piece of batting. This is actually on batting, but I need something to go in between so that I can put a little hanger area on here. So if I were to use this ribbon as a little hanger where I could put my pin, put it right at the top edge there, slip it down in there a little tighter, then I could go ahead and sew this in. When I get through, I can trim off the excess. You can machine sew this or hand sew it. Either way doesn't matter. You can use the textiles like I'm doing, or you could get something, some plain fabric, and do some embroidery, some stitching of some kind that you like, and just play with that. In fact, just anything. I like to use the textile pieces because I love the scrappy and I love texture, and so that's what I do. And when you save all these little bits and pieces, you have lots of them to play with. Okay. Now I reinforce that by going double over that little area to hold in that piece strongly. Now I'm just going to go around the edges, and I'm thinking that I'm just going to do an overcast stitch like I do on so much of my stuff because it just works and I like the look of it, and it catches stuff and it holds stuff really well. Up here at the top where I'm pretty much at the top of this batting, I'm just going to use that stitch. Just overcast it. Now before I get to this next edge, I need to trim this excess off so that these two will sew together nicely. So just trim that off. Keep going around. You can see that if you're starting with decorative elements already, there's nothing to putting this together. That's another advantage of using textile scraps, is that they create the interest. You don't have to do a whole lot of extra stitching and things like that. But if you enjoy that process, and that is what you want to do, some beautiful embroidery or something will really do that. Or if you've crocheted or cross-stitched a pretty motif or something, use it. If you found an applique or something on a garment, some lace or flowers or motifs of some kind, use it. Whatever it is that you want to embellish with. This is just, to me, going to be pretty. I love the colors together, and just the feel of it is nice. I will be coming back inside as I do a little bit more around the edges. I want to get it secured on one side here at least before I start sewing any more. Now, most of the time I go ahead and do this top piece completely, but and then put the back on, and I do recommend that. That's better, but I got ahead of myself here, so we'll have to do it this other way. You ever get ahead of yourself? If I'm into a new project, I do that a lot of times. Especially things I haven't done before particularly. I'll get ahead of myself on a lot of that. Okay. Now, I've got this secured on this side, so I could unpin this from the back. Just pin it to the front side because it's secured to the back side, and it's secured up here. So now I could take this so that I don't have so much stitching going through the back side. I could come inside here and go ahead and stitch this down. And I will be just basically couching down these elements that I put on top to the background. I love making little things like this because, and I really do love to make them up in advance because when you have them already done, it's so nice when you're into a project and say, okay, I want a little pendant here. And so I'm going to be making up some pendants in advance because I know I'm going to be making quite a few greeting cards as gifts out of the 4x4 little textile art pieces that I'm making in the Stitch by Stitch project here at Icky Chic Designs. That I upload those videos every Sunday. You can catch that, and you can join in on that project for the year. It's a year-long project. I'll be seeing how many of those I can make in a year and what I can do with them, practical uses for those 4x4s. And my first usage is making little booklet style greeting cards with printed sentiments on the inside. So you'll have to catch that video. It's up already. And but you know, you don't want to work all year on something like making as many 4x4 textile art pieces as you can and then have no way to put them to any use. So I'm going to make sure that we have a lot of different ways. I'm going to find every way I can to use those little things throughout the year and put them in that playlist so that you, if you're looking for a way and you haven't seen any of the videos in a while, you can go back and catch up on some of them and get some ideas. I am also going to start listing in the description what I do with these things, those 4x4s. And I have gifted one. In fact, I gifted it today. The card that I made with the sentiment to a friend who definitely could use some encouragement. And it was so well received. Not only because it was handmade, but because the sentiment just fit the person and the occasion. And so that if you make up your own sentiments and print them, you can even do it on paper and put it inside. But I did mine on fabric, and it just means so much. And just to know that it hit someone's heart and it made their day brighter, I mean, isn't that worth the time and the effort? But I will be listing what I do with them and throughout the year, so you can see what I'm doing with mine. I'm gonna have to get another thread here. I think I have, yeah, I do. Another needle threaded here. And ready to go. We need to secure a little more of this on the inside here. Now when I'm working raggy, what I call raggy, I don't try to secure every little piece of fabric or textile because, for instance, these little pieces out here, I'm not going to go out there and sew all those down. I might take one stitch just to keep them safely in place, but then that would be it on that, and let it kind of stick up. It is, after all, a raggy project. Okay, at least mine is. Let's put it that way. Yours may be nice and neat, but mine is raggy. Okay. Let's catch this one up here. Just one little catch will do it. Enough to make it secure. This thread I'm using is a beige, and it's hiding well in all this texture, so you don't really see all the stitching right away that I'm doing, which is nice. And so let's get over here and secure that one. Go back and get a little bit more in the middle. Don't forget that you can also add beads, sequins, other things, charms and things like that to these too. I'm not too much of a beader. I do like to add charms, but I sometimes wait till I'm ready to use the item to know exactly what charm I want to put it on, depending on, you know, who's it going to, an older friend or young lady or a child even, who's it going to go to, and the charm I use would make a difference. Okay, I am going to run this thread back to the top here and start on the edge again. Again, I'm going to trim this side closely to that one, to the original. Okay. And we're just going to do the overcast here. These are meant to be just decorative items inside the card, but because they are designed like a pendant and they will be inside the card fastened with a safety pin, the person can choose to take it out and use it as a brooch, a necklace, a pin that they want to decorate something else with. They can do anything they want to with it. So remember that it might be removed and it might be used. And if that's the case, then you want to make it pretty secure, okay, when you sew it. The back doesn't have to be beautiful, but if you want to make it beautiful, if you want to come back and cover this with a piece of fabric so that nothing shows, you can do that. However you want to do it. I've had friends take these little pendants that I put on things, and they frame them in little tiny frames, and they sit somewhere in their house, and they're just so cute. And so just, you know, whatever they want to do with it. It's their little piece of art, handcrafted and made especially for them. We're going to put this bottom together here. Good. I love textiles, don't you? Don't you just love the feel of them and the look of them? They're just fun. Just before you even do anything with them, they look good. Clumped together in a bucket, they look good. I'm gonna cut a little of this off because it's not needed. Okay, let's see. I have everything secured. I do. The thing's on tight. Everything is down. I got a loop that somehow got left in there, so we're going to run over there and sew that down. Again, every mistake is a chance for a design tweak. I didn't intend to come back up in here and sew, but guess what? We're doing it. And that will just secure it more. Nobody will ever see that. Okay. Now I'm going to take this thread and I'm going to weave it through the inside. Pull it out, stretch it, and clip it. And it'll be secured between the layers on the inside. Okay, that's our first little pendant. Isn't that adorable? Okay, let's try something a little different. Let's see. I had this little scrap that's cut off of the long pieces that I make that I've shown you before, and I just snipped off a piece, and so I thought, okay, what can I do with that? And I pulled out some different little things that I thought, well, we might audition and see if we like them. I have this one. I have this one. I'm not liking that too much. I have this. Maybe this and this together. No. I wanted to make a little stronger, bolder statement than that. I think I'll have to use that. Now, I could do, I pulled out a little pile of stuff here, and I'm going to keep it together, I think. Squinch it up. Bring it over on this white part so that my color over here shows better. Now this might make a statement. I have that one, and I also have this one. I like the bigger one better. Put that on there. Put that on top. Let the little threads come out a little bit. I have a little bit more threads up here. Let me try them. Add just a little bit more to it. Ooh, I like that better even. Squinch that in there. Let's see if we can pin some of that in. Keep it in there a little bit. Okay. And we don't want that one going out of the bounds there, so we'll pull him in. Pull that up. Pin that in a little bit. Okay, we'll tuck that in as we're sewing it. But there's something interesting. All right, let me get a needle threaded here and let's see what we can do with this one. You see there's nothing difficult about making little fiber art. There's nothing difficult if you just audition the little pieces that you want to use, throw out what you don't like, pull in something else. Be very flexible with yourself. Go with what you like only. Don't force yourself to like something. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, get rid of it, okay? Now this one I'm going to sew down my elements first before I put it on the background. So let's go ahead and do that. Going to do that with a plain running straight stitch. Again, nothing fancy about this. If you've watched my videos very long, you notice I don't do a whole lot of fancy. Okay. But I still managed to create a lot of times very beautiful pieces of fiber art, yet there's nothing fancy about the actual technique or what stitches that I use. And if you say, I don't know how to put all that stuff together, mine doesn't come out like that. Keep trying. Keep collaging things, mixing things up, combining things. And when you get something that you like, go with it. Stop right there and sew it in, make it work. And that's how you start building confidence in your own ability to create things you love. Remember, you're not creating for me. I'm not creating for you. We're creating for ourselves. And when we gift items to people, they may not always just love our piece like we love it, but they will know that we created it with love. And the feeling will be there, and that's what's so important. I have been gifted some very rough hand-stitched items. Nothing artistic about it at all, but they are beautiful. And that they were made for me. The person was thinking about me when they made it. And they created something they liked. And that means so much to me. And it will, what we give will mean the same thing. I always try to have some little something that shines, glitter, glitzes in my, here it's the little piece of yarn that has the metallic gold thread running through it. And so if you have a little bit of something like that, it lends a little bit of artistic nature to a piece even when it's not meant to be. It's like gift wrapping. You know, your gift wrapping doesn't enhance what's inside. It just enhances the feeling of the first thing the person sees is the gift wrapping. And that enhances the feeling that they get for this gift. That's why we put so much effort into gift wrapping. We want that first impression to be beautiful. And little bits of glitzy things when it comes to textile art does that for us. It puts a little bit of fantasy beauty into it. Again, the thread I'm using is just a creamy, almost a light peach color. Between a peach and a tan, it's just kind of can go either way. It's just a beautiful little color that blends so well with everything that it just hides itself. This little bit of something here is cut off of a piece of lace of some kind. You know, I have bits and pieces laying around I've had forever, and don't remember what they came off of originally, but I use tons of them when I'm creating, and so you always need a bunch of them, so make sure you save them. I'm going to go thrifting this next week one day, and I hope to film some of that and video a little bit of it. I've never tried to do that before, but I'm thinking that I will try to do that and show you a few things that I look for when I'm out thrifting, especially in the clothes area, if I find something specific, and just see if I can't take you along on the venture a little bit with me. Now that's barring any horrific weather, which is always capable of popping up. And also, if my daughter feels like it, she goes with me because, like I said, I'm 77 and it pays me to have somebody with me. And she does the driving and I don't have to worry about that. I can drive, but her reflexes are much faster than mine, so I'd rather stay safe than sorry. Okay, we need to pick up some of the little scrappy edges here that are just a little wild. Bring them back into the fold, we might say. Little rebel pieces here. Yeah. They didn't want to stay out there in the cold very long anyway. Let's see, we need to get the pin out of there. Before I sew it in, you can't get it out. Let's get this piece in here. I think that's pretty already. I just like it is. It may very well just stay like that because I think it's plenty busy, and it's got lots of pretty color, and it's got texture all over the place. Make our way over to the other side and catch that other little rebel piece over there. Ouch. I don't like it when I stick myself. Don't get in such a hurry. When we catch this piece here, then we are going to put our background and our little top piece on, and so that we can close it off. And you can see that this is just an easy project, an easy little hand-sewn project. Again, though, you can do it on a machine if you feel that that is better for you. Both ways, it works both ways. Machine sewn, you see more of the stitching because it's more prominent. Okay, we got one little piece here in the middle that if we don't do something with, it'll get caught and yanked out. So let's secure it. Catch it there, and we'll catch it down here. All right, that little piece, probably wouldn't hurt to catch him back here a little bit. Just let him hang out there at the end. That's better. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it just like it is. I don't think I want to add anything else. So I'm going to just put this here and then load up the needle, and we'll put the background on this piece. You know, I've got a piece of peach here. I think I'm going to do it in the peach. Okay, get the needle up. And I have another piece of batting cut and ready to use on a background. Let's see, is it gonna fit? Yeah, it is. Okay, we just have to trim one side. Okay, that'll work. And I have this little piece of, this was a ribbon on a package that I saved. And that's such a good color for this. Move that up to the top. Isn't that pretty? Just blends in so well, makes a nice statement there. Let's sew that in. We're going to make a little zigzag pattern here. You don't have to be so concerned about making this so strong. People aren't that rough on things like this. They usually treat them gently, but you do want to get it secured. You don't want it falling out on them. And or if they choose to pin it on something or wear it, you don't want it coming undone. But you know, a good few stitches has got that in there really tight. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is go over here to the very bottom of it on the edge and do my first overcast stitch right there, catching that on that corner. There we go. Okay. Now I ran that up to that edge of that background when I put it on that, so on this side I don't have to trim it. I can just sew it. And again, I'm not worried about keeping all these stitches even and perfectly spaced and all that kind of stuff. That's not what this piece is about. Okay, just get it sewn. I had a lady tell me about one of my pieces that, oh, your stitches are so nice and even, and I'm thinking, oh, they're not at all. But I guess she didn't do any stitching herself, so it looked good to her. But I wanted to laugh because they were definitely anything but nice and even, you know, but she liked it anyway. Oh, I'll be so glad to see spring, I think. I'm tired and sick to death of winter already. I don't like winter gray skies. After a while, they get to me. And I just soon have some sunshine back in Texas here. If it isn't cold, it's raining right now. It's one or the other. We have a couple of months during the year of miserable weather for us. And I know it probably wouldn't be considered miserable at all for a lot of the world, but when you're used to warm, hot, and sunny, well, all this other stuff is ridiculous. But we just got through with some little snow and little ice, and dropping down into the 20s and the teens for us at night. That was really frigid. Yeah. But this next week is going to be back up in the 50s and 60s during the day, and that's going to be nice. Okay, coming around the corner. Now we're going to have to trim a little bit here because this thing is a little woppy-doodled, and you know what? We're going to leave it woppy-doodled. What I mean is it's not perfectly straight across there. And we're not going to make it perfectly straight across there. Okay. I didn't cut that even because it's going to sew down anyway, and it'll just add a little bit more texture on that side. I hope you're making one of these soon, and give me a comment. Let me know how it works for you. The most important part about making something like this is to remember to leave it artsy, in the sense that it's not perfect. You want the textiles to play the center role. They are your stars and your little play here. And you want to mix them and blend them and play with them, and just let them work for you. A piece of that and a piece of this and a little of that and a little of this will create some wonderful pieces for you. Especially tiny pieces work out really well that way. The larger pieces, you have to be more particular about your compositions, your placement, your color combinations. The larger the piece, the more you have to design. But little pieces like this, just get it down and sew it. That's That's the whole thing. Just put that stuff down and then sew it. Don't overthink it. I'm going to run out of thread. Look at that. I got just a little bit left and I'm going to run out of thread. I don't like that. Okay, let's run our thread down through here into the background. Pull it up and out. Pull it up and snip it. You won't ever see it. All right, I got to get just a little bit more. And you know what? I don't have any more of that peach. So I'm going to use some white. Yeah, it'll show that I changed thread, but there's no law against that. Remember, there are no design police around here. We can do whatever we want to do. So, what I might do is go back down a couple of stitches. And come out and work in the white a little bit before I actually get to where I want to be. And I can always go and work it in somewhere else if I want to, if it doesn't blend well enough. If it does, fine, leave it alone. Okay, what have I got here? Okay, we're coming around to the end and we're going to catch the very bottom of this little thing here, like we did on the other side, and just let it wrap around the thing. And the white is fine. Over here it almost looks like we got blue threads in there, but we don't with that peach coming around. There's another little pendant that'll make a nice little fiber art addition to whatever we put it with. That is 2 different styles that we've created, and we've just done it with scraps, really small textile scraps. Two pendants ready to go. Let's see, do I have a, I think I have a pin up here, yeah. We run our pin in there and they pin nicely onto whatever it is that we want to put them on. That, I always run the pin in, big end first. Run that pin in like that, and then when you pin it, it will hang nicely like that, okay? All right. So I hope you will try some of these little pendants yourself, and you can see that just using different scraps are going to give you different looks. You don't know what your final look is going to be until you finish, because you really don't know you know, how it's all going to play out. You're just using them. And if there's something you need to clean up when you get through, well, snip it and clean it and do whatever it is you think you need to do. But I adore them, and they are definitely going into 2 of my greeting cards that I'm going to be making, and I just love them. They're totally different, and they're just totally made out of scraps. Can you see that? Okay, I hope you enjoyed that process, and until next time, please stay scrap happy.